Today, I will be talking about the differences between the hard disk drive and the SSD. Let's start now. Sure. Hard disk drive or HDD is something look like this. This is a really simple picture. Here. This is a really simple picture of the hard disk drive. It will have like a circle thing in the middle called the platter, which is where the data will go. The SSD though is a different kind of storage. It is smaller and is also known as solid state drive. Right. You can see that it is really small because it's in the form of some kind of like a chips, and for the hard disk drive it will store the data in the form of magnetic coating on top of the platter, while the SSD will be stored as a flash memory in the chips. So moving on, for the hard disk drive it take time to access the data than the SSD, so maybe it's not a really good storage, even though it have like a really high capacity. But if some of you like really want a really fast storage, to really fast path to access the data, maybe hard disk drive is not really good. So hard disk drive is also more fractal, like it's really easy to break if the pin right here touch the platters, or like it's some kind of like an impact come into the hard disk drive, it can be really easily to broke. So from that point is make hard disk drive have a lower lifespan, and because this have to spin to access the data, it will produce more heat, and that will even more decrease the lifespan of the hard disk drive. The hard disk drive is also the older technology than the SSD. That's why it is cheaper with the higher capacity than the SSD. And yep, that is pretty much about the differences between the hard disk drive and the SSD. So moving on to the next question about the video connection standards in computer. There are 4 types of display port. It is VGA, HDMI, DVI, and DisplayPort. So let's start with the oldest one, the VGA. The VGA is really old. The good thing about this thing is that it can be 100% work. Like you can always work VGA with the presentation projector. Yeah, that's presentations projector. And it is an analog standard, and since it is a really old technology, the picture on the screen may be not clear and sharp. Moving on from the VGA is the DVI. The DVI is more superior to the VGA, but they still kind of like really similar, because both VGA and DVI will have a screw on the both sides of the part. The VGI is bigger and the good thing about the VGI is that it can be adapted with the adapter and converted to HDMI, DVI, and also VGA. The next thing is the HDMI. The HDMI is one of the most common port that you can find on computer or laptop on these days. The bad thing about it is it no locking mechanism, and but the good thing is that it's audio and video support. It also have like a many kind of HDMI. As for the computer, it will be kind of like a bigger one, and it can also go smaller from laptop to the port that you can use with your mobile phone or your smartphone. The HDMI 1.4 is the most common port to find on these days, but actually it's not the latest one. The latest one is 2.0. So the last thing is the display port. The display port is super cool. It's kind of like combination of VGA, DVI, and HDMI. It have a locking mechanism, which make it better than the HDMI. It can also convert it to VGA, DVI, and also HDMI with the cheap adapter. It can also support audio and video with the HDMI too. And the thing that also made it cool is that the DisplayPort 1.2 is support of MST, or in the common word is that you can have multiple display on just a one display port. Thank you for your watching, and hope it's helpful for you guys. Thank you.